Welcome to episode 11 of the Wheelhouse. I'm your host, Andrew O. With me this week, Sterling Gavinski. Get on back here.
This dick ain't free.
Next, Gus Rives.
Pimp, pimp.
Hooray! All right, that's the episode for today. Yeah. So, Gus, how are you?
I'm okay. It's been a long day.
Yeah, you didn't go to lunch with us.
Nope, didn't go to school today at all.
Then why was it such a long day?
I didn't feel good in the morning, and so I was like, I guess I'll skip both my classes today and lunch. So, yeah, not much to it. I just, decided to skip.
How about you, Sterling? How was your day?
It was fine. It was also long. I felt pretty tired, and I feel really tired right now. And we all seem pretty exhausted.
Downcast. It's because the weather outside. It's
Messing
frightful.
with our hair.
Apparently, it's hailing. So,
What?
where my mom and sister are right now. Yeah.
Wow.
They're in the car.
Dang.
Yeah, I took a nap, which I don't usually do.
Yeah.
The last few days I've been really tired. I don't know why.
You've been working hard. You deserve it.
I don't know.
Take that nap.
I don't like. I think naps are evil.
I know.
In my
That's
opinion.
what I'm saying.
I don't even understand what that means.
It's because you take a nap, right? And then you stay up longer than you usually do. And then so you wake up and you're tired again. And then you're like, oh, I'll just take another nap.
Evil is the wrong word to use.
No, napkins are evil. I'm not napkins.
Napkins, oh god, a slip right there.
Freudian
Why do you
slip.
hate napkins?
Yeah.
Hate being.
I think I know why I said that, but I'll save it.
Okay.
Save it?
Yeah.
Does it pertain to the episode?
No, not at all.
Oh. Okay.
No, save it as in off the air.
Oh, my.
Yeah. It's not as bad as you think.
Well.
Gus,
Hmm.
you said you listened to some Black Sabbath.
Yeah.
Was it after our Master of Puppets talk?
It was just yesterday actually.
Okay.
And I was just at a friend's house and we turned on Black Sabbath and I'm happy to say, Paranoid, I like it better than ever before.
Paranoid's so good.
It's so good. The solos, Tony Iommi solos, so good. Just throughout. I think I actually like it more than Masters of Reality now.
Whoa.
But both are great.
Damn.
I love it.
I haven't listened to that, though.
You haven't?
Nope.
And I haven't listened to
I have
Paranoid.
it.
We should wheelhouse each other.
Can't do that.
That
I'll
sounds
listen to
gross.
both.
I'll wheelhouse you if you wheelhouse me.
I'll show you my wheelhouse.
I own both, so I can give you two both. So.
I think I have it.
Oh, Masters of Reality?
Yeah.
Oh.
Let me check that good old iTunes.
I need to listen to the first one again because that one I definitely barely remember.
Oh, no, I don't have it. Never mind. I lied. Black Sabbath.
Yeah.
And Paranoid came out the same year.
Yep.
Crazy.
Whoa.
So, and Gus, you also mentioned you're a little excited of an upcoming video game.
Tomorrow, April the 12th, new Ratchet and Clank. Ratchet and Clank was a huge favorite of mine when I was 10 or 11. But in the recent years, it's kind of gone downhill a little bit. So, but this is like a reboot, remake, so to speak, of the first game.
It's just called Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah, it's just called. I think there's a movie being released, which I'm
Yep.
not excited at all.
There is a movie too.
I'm not.
It's like
I'm.
Sonic. It's not
I am
good.
not optimistic at all. But I am optimistic for the game. So hopefully that is good.
Have you seen any videos? It's pretty beautiful.
Of the game?
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw one when it was first announced, or maybe it was just last E3. But yeah, it looks nice. It's pretty.
I haven't played Ratchet and Clank.
Ever?
I'm thinking about getting that PS3 collection.
Yeah, you should. Those are great.
And
the
then I
the
looked-
PS2 games are the best. So.
Yeah, I looked on Wikipedia. There's so many. There's so many Ratchet and Clank games. It's confusing.
Yeah.
So there's three
I
main.
guess.
There's a main trilogy for PS2.
Yeah.
And there's another trilogy for PS3.
It's kind of a trilogy.
Like Crack in Time.
A Crack in Time,
something-
Tools of Destruction, A Crack in Time, and Into the Nexus, which doesn't even have Future in the title,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's a part
The
of the
Future
series.
trilogy, yeah.
I don't know why they did
But
that.
then there's all these other Power
spin-offs.
Defense and other weird stuff.
Deadlocked is great. That's
Yeah.
on PS2 also. And that's on PS3. It's not a part of the collection, but you can get it on PS3, and I recommend it. I love that game.
There's just so
Anyway.
many.
What's better, Jack and Daxter
Ratchet and Clank.
or Ratchet and Clank? That's
I think a lot of people would say Jack and Daxter, but
Really?
I say Ratchet and Clank, yeah.
Out of
and
all
Sly.
of those games, all of them, the only game I've played is Daxter on PSP.
Oh, yeah.
Daxter is awesome.
Daxter is great.
I liked it a lot. Yeah,
I played that too.
it was cool.
Yeah.
It's a good game.
I never finished it.
Neither did I. No.
Anyway,
Anywho.
speaking of Daxter.
What?
No, I'm just kidding.
Duckworth?
Oh, man.
Duckworth, yes. That's what I meant to say. We are doing our second theme show today. If y'all didn't know that already going in, which you probably do because you read the description. But if you're new to the show and you're wondering how does this Wheelhouse thing work, well, I'll tell you. Every week we each recommend a piece of media that the other two have not experienced. We go out, watch, listen, or play those recommendations and come back and review them. This episode, like I mentioned, we have a themed episode, so it's a little bit different. But at the end, we're all going to go back to our usual recommendations. We're going to recommend an album, a video game, and a movie. But first, our theme for today is Kendrick Lamar.
Candy.
You said candy?
Candy.
Kendi.
K dot. KLD.
So, when was the first time you heard or listened to any Kendrick Lamar stuff?
You want to go first, Charlie?
I'm trying to remember. I think it may have been because of you, but I'm not sure.
You think I feel like you had listened to it before we met.
Okay, maybe. Yeah, it was definitely in the past 3 years. I can say that.
How'd you guys meet?
Japanese
class?
and jogging class, yeah.
Yeah. And I think that was around the time. Maybe that's why I'm associating it. That was around the time when I heard Good Kid, M.A.A.d City.
Same.
And yeah, I understood that you had heard maybe Backseat Freestyle and the rest of the album.
Yeah.
That was a pretty good introductory album, I would say.
Oh, yeah.
It's very, like, what's the damn word?
Lamari?
No. Like, it's easy to get into the rest of it. It's like a gateway
Accessible?
album. Accessible, yeah.
It is way more accessible than
Especially in To Pimp a Butterfly, yeah.
But
how about you? HPU, Gus.
so I first heard about Kendrick Lamar when he released Section 80, and we've mentioned Fantano before.
Yeah.
And so I watched his review of that,
Praise.
but I never listened to Section 80. I just knew about it, and it was supposed to be pretty good. And then when Good Kid, M.A.A.d City came out, and then it had a bunch of acclaim to it, I decided to give it a listen, and I quite liked it. You could just tell from that album that Kendrick Lamar was going to go places. So, yeah. What about you? This week, right?
Yeah.
Man.
First time.
I think I only heard of him when To Pimp a Butterfly came out.
Really?
Yeah, it was just,
Wow.
and I hadn't listened to any of his stuff until for this episode.
Nice.
I think when he released Section 80 and Good Kid, M.A.A.d City, I wasn't into music like I am now, so just kind of flew by me.
Man.
Yeah,
So you listened in order, I presume, like
Yeah.
you do? Nice.
chronological.
This is exciting then.
Yeah,
I'm interested to hear.
I am too, especially since you started with Section 80.
Yeah.
'Cause,
yeah.
Oh, yeah. I want to see how your opinion changed, what you expected as you went through, you
Mhm.
know?
Well, actually, now that I think of it, the first Kendrick I heard was for that Kanye song on.
Oh.
well,
I
yeah,
know
but
more
whatever.
about
That's a
it. Okay.
feature, yeah.
Anyway, so a little background on Mr. Lamar, or Mr. Duckworth.
Amazing name.
He was born Kendrick Lamar Duckworth on June 17th, 1987, in Compton, California. I believe his parents were actually from Chicago, and then they moved to Compton.
I don't know if you guys know, but Compton is home to a very notable gangster rap outfit
Yeah.
known as NWA.
NWA.
yeah.
Which recently, Kendrick inducted NWA into the Rock and Roll Hall of
Wasn't
Fame,
that like Friday?
Yep.
Yes,
It was really recently, yeah.
Yeah.
which is kind of fitting.
Yeah.
It's very circular.
Oh, yeah.
West Coast rappers. So, he, growing up in Compton, of course, he sort of grew up on the streets, so to speak,
Yeah.
surrounded by violence. And these are sort of experiences that definitely stuck with him, that have pretty much influenced his music and his writing. But he was a good student, straight A student. And when he began writing and doing music, he rapped under the name K dot.
K dot.
And he began formally releasing music through mixtapes. His first one, YHNIC, Hubsita, Minor of the Year.
We did not listen to any mixtapes,
No, we
by the
didn't.
way.
But that came out in 2003 when he was only 16 years old.
Whoa.
It got some buzz, especially in the Compton area. And because of that, he had a record deal with Top Dog Entertainment. And then from that point, released some more mixtapes. As you can see, 2005, Training Day. 2007, No Sleep Till NYC. And in 2009, C4. Around the same time, he started collaborating with other West Coast rappers. He created this supergroup called Black Hippie with including Lamar. It had J-Rock, Absol, and Schoolboy Q.
Nice.
And I believe he also tours with them frequently as well. In 2010, he drops the K-Dot name in lieu of going with Kendrick Lamar. He releases his final mixtape, Overly Dedicated, which is kind of confusing because on the individual Wikipedia page, it says it's his 4th mixtape. But the Wikipedia page for his discography says it's his 5th mixtape.
Yeah.
So, well, that exists. 2011, something is released.
Yeah. Yeah, if you look over to the right where it says peak chart positions, none of his releases until Overly Dedicated charted at all. So he's clearly building up buzz. And look at that, 12,000 US sales.
Yep.
Not bad.
And then on July 2nd, 2011, Kendrick releases Section 80 independently on iTunes. I believe only digitally. So, Section 80, here we go. Woo. Studio album, although I guess you guys mentioned before that Kendrick considers it a mixtape, right?
Yeah, I wonder why that is.
Don't put words in my mouth, Andrew.
Okay.
I said
When did you
no
hear
such
that?
thing. Sterling said that. But
Yeah.
regardless, anyway, Section 80 is his first, I'd say, notable release at least for most people. And yeah, so this was all our first time listening to this.
Yeah.
So what'd you guys think of it?
It's way more simple
Yeah.
than the rest of, like, musically, I should say, at least. Also, there's a lot of, like, surprisingly, what you would say, like, kind of pop parts on this album, which is something that, especially on To Pimp a Butterfly, you don't really get any pop hooks or anything like that. But Section 80 is probably the most straightforward hip-hop release. If you're calling it a studio album of his, I would say so.
Yeah. I mean, there are ideas on here that you could see he was trying to be, like, experimenting and artistic.
Yeah, you get some of, like, the jazz fusion stuff, like, towards the end, if I remember correctly.
And all his skits and whatnot.
Yeah.
For me, I felt like a Kanye influence there.
I was about to say, skits are pretty
Skits
typical
are all over,
of hip-hop
yeah.
albums.
Eminem
you know?
has skits. People have
Snoop
skits.
Dogg has skits.
Snoop Dogg.
And I'm sure Snoop is a huge influence to
Oh, yeah,
Kendrick.
yeah.
But, yeah, so for me, like, right off the bat with Fuck Your Ethnicity, I was
Yeah.
like, I didn't recognize his voice. I thought his voice was kind of, like, different, it sounded.
Yeah, I guess he, like, affects it a little as...
Maybe, yeah.
Like, as he goes on, like, he kind of does, like, an accent a little bit,
Mhm.
which he does not talk like that, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
He does kind of like a silly voice as he raps.
Which he does a lot, if
Yeah.
now to think about it. But, yeah, for me, it was, like, surprising, because I like Kendrick Lamar a lot.
Yeah.
And I really didn't start liking this thing until about halfway through.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, I think Fuck Your Ethnicity is an awesome song.
I thought
that one, I was like, ooh.
I wanted more. I wanted to be more punching, but
Yeah.
it was. I don't know. That was probably like one of the best of the first few tracks. Also,
You don't like Hole Up either?
no, I like No Makeup other than the chorus.
I love the way.
Yeah, the chorus
that's
is
what I was about to say with the
awful.
pop stuff. That was like the first 3 songs. I thought everything was so consistent, and I was shocked. The very first line in No Makeup is like that chorus part.
yeah.
And I was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Like, did it just switch to like a Drake song or something?
Colin Monroe.
Colin Monroe. Yeah, I do
the
not
way
dig
you
his contribution, but the rest of the song I like.
Yeah, same.
But overall for me, like, I thought Section 80 was a decent album.
I thought it was good.
Yeah, I would say good as well, but I think
Totally overshadowed
definitely the weakest. Yeah.
by the rest of his,
Oh, yeah.
or by what's to come in his discography.
Yeah, you're saying how he sounded a little different.
Yeah.
And
At
I
least
think-
at first, but like later on, he
he does.
sounding similar.
Yeah, like, and you Sterling mentioned how there's some more jazz influence on the later
Yeah.
songs too, and you can tell, like, he, as a vocalist, I guess he's sort of experimenting, and definitely there's a lack of aggression overall in this album that is
True.
much more evident in Good Kid, Mad City and To Pimp a Butterfly.
It seems like he was changing his vibe a little bit, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
What, from this album, you mean?
yeah.
Okay.
As he went on. Like you were saying, like with a song like like a song with the title "Fuck Your Ethnicity," expected to be a lot like heavier, a lot more of a hard hitter. But the whole album is really chill.
Yeah.
And like in like track 2, that's one of my favorite ones. Hold Up, like he's like, I wrote this album like 100 feet in the air. It has this very like laid back like hip hop vibe.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
and generally it's relatively slow.
Yeah.
The whole thing for hip hop, and yes, generally it's very consistent. There's a lot of piano, a lot of swelling sounds, vocal filters, but it definitely nails that sound, and it's consistent all the way through. But it doesn't really diverge from it. So for me, some of the songs kind of sound similar, but overall very good. And you could definitely tell there are elements in here that he evolves for his later albums. Like we mentioned before with the skits, like there's sort of a little narrative going on. With the two characters of Tammy and Keisha, kind of like giving sort of snapshots of their life, in respect to sort of Kendrick's background as well. But it is definitely far more fleshed out in his later 2 albums.
Oh yeah. The Keisha and Tammy parts were probably some of my favorite parts of the whole album.
Yeah.
I also like the skits. I don't know. The dude's voice is funny to me. I like listening to it.
Go the road.
With that crackling fire. You just imagine it.
Like a little hobo trash can.
I also thought Absol's outro was a sick song. I thought that was a good one.
Yeah.
That's probably my favorite.
Yeah, that's where some of the jazz drums and horn come in. Yeah.
That's probably the strongest jazz influence one. I
So,
think, if I'm not mistaken, ADHD was the lead single. Or was the big hit on the album.
It was ADHD or it was High Power?
I think.
High Power.
High Power is a promotional single. Damn.
You were wrong.
Well, and anyways, my transition. ADHD, I think, is one of the strongest tracks on the album. It's one of my favorites. And that's the first song I heard from this album, and the only song I had heard before going into it, because I know a lot of people like it. This, as well as, like, Fuck Your Ethnicity again, and a few other tracks, I think, towards the end of the album, like a Ronald Reagan era or whatever it's called, they start tackling, these concepts of, like, he has this kind of narrative going through his entire discography of, like, racial tension and, like, political tension and drug abuse, all through these things, which obviously growing up in Compton are constantly surrounding you. And I think this is a really good, like, you get a kind of look into his world, and then, like, Good Kid, Mad City, like, it completely erupts,
Yeah.
That's what that entire record is about, basically.
Yeah. It is very dreamlike. We mentioned sort of the sound is very slow.
Musically, as well as, like, concepts.
So that kind of harks back to, sort of being inside his mind a little bit.
Yeah.
What are some of your favorite songs overall?
I already said Andrew.
I really like Ronald Reagan era. I think that one's awesome.
Yeah, that one's
Guys, a few of your favorite songs.
Absol's outro.
Really
chapter 10, chapter 6, the beginning of Fuck Your Ethnicity with the dude talking.
Yeah.
No, but really, Keisha's song I liked. Cushion Corinthians, Ronald Reagan era.
High Power? I like High Power.
High Power's decent. I wasn't crazy about it.
A lot of strong tracks, I think.
Yep. So, back to our little narrative about Kendrick.
What happens next, Andrew?
So, around this time, Dr. Dre comes up to young Kendrick and takes him under his wing and kind of guides him through the music industry and the business. Again, solidarity there, both being from Compton. March 2012, Dr. Dre signs Kendrick Lamar to Aftermath Entertainment. And there's also some deal that he makes with Interscope Records, so his next album would be released on Aftermath, Interscope, and Top Dog
Still
at the
on
same
Top
time.
Dog? Wow.
Yeah. It's a little confusing, but so Section 80 was sort of an independent release. That's why I guess some people consider it not a full studio album.
Is what you're saying?
But on October 22nd, 2012, his unambiguous major label debut, Good Kid, M.A.A.d City, is released. Continuing the whole concept album idea. I mean, Kendrick himself calls it a short film.
Yeah.
And heavily based on his experiences growing up in Compton.
Didn't he make a short film? Like,
I
didn't
think
he
there was like
actually
an
do
accompanying short film.
that was
maybe.
unreleased, or was it released?
That's a good question.
So
I can
Have you
still just
guys
go and talk.
have you guys listened to this one before?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the first one.
This is the
I've
first
heard.
one, yeah.
This was new to me.
Yeah, it was. What'd you think going in?
I thought it was great.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, like I mentioned before, he took all the elements from Section 80 and just pushed it a lot farther. I love all the narrative stuff, how
Mm-hmm.
it sort of jumps from this one main story of, going in the van and getting attacked and that sort of thing. But then it's like pulls back and does sort of present social commentary and makes parallels between the two.
Mm-hmm.
In addition to just consistently having a great hip hop sound and just relentless lyricism
Oh yeah.
is just phenomenal. Yeah. So you guys went back and re-listened to it?
Yeah. So, one thing that I've always loved about hip hop is like the storytelling, and one thing that Kendrick is really good at that I never really paid attention to was that he does like this kind of. It's metaphor heavy, but it's not bogged down. So like you get little moments, but they're really descriptive in terms of like bigger themes, if you
Mhm.
know what I'm saying.
Yeah. His lyrics usually have a lot of layers to them.
Yeah, exactly. I like the thing, the skit, like at the very beginning, it was like, some damn dominoes. Like,
Yeah.
where's my dominoes?
Yeah, like the dad in the background on the
Yeah.
phone call, yelling for Domino's. Yeah, and that's a trend that I made sort of between all three albums. How Section 80, yeah, you have some really complex, deep lyrics, but sort of the instrumentation's just sort of decent and consistent. Whereas Good Kid, you have deep lyrics, but you also have that narrative layer on top of it. So
Yeah.
you have sort of more parallels drawn between the two. And then I think in To Pimp a Butterfly, just mentioned briefly how it even pushes that further, because I think he has deep lyrics, has a narrative, but also those sort of themes present in his writing parallels the music itself,
Mm-hmm.
and how the music transitions and the different sections in there all blend together.
Yeah.
So to me, there is a discernible evolution in his music between the three. But to go back to Good Kid, I thought the second half was a lot stronger than the first half.
Let's see
Disagree.
that track.
Entirely.
Disagree?
Backseat Freestyle, best Kendrick Lamar song, period.
Go to the track.
Okay.
track list. Okay.
First off, long album.
Yeah.
What are all these bonus things? I didn't.
Black Boy Fly.
Black Boy Fly
Yeah,
now
no,
or
I
never.
didn't.
I've
listen
heard of
past
the
Compton.
recipe, but anyway, we're not talking about those.
Yeah.
So I guess you have this character of Shireen,
Yeah.
right? Who's kind of, I guess, like young man Kendrick's girlfriend that's growing up in the city, or like some girl that he shouldn't be messing with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I guess she kind of gets him into a little bit of trouble, or exposes him to this kind of dark world of gang and drug-ridden.
Well, I kind of got the
Compton.
impression that Kendrick put himself in that position because he wanted to get with her. You know?
Okay, yeah. I think it's probably a combination of the two, because I
Yeah.
feel like there's this theme of kind of being like an innocent little baby boy grown up in like like the title suggests.
He's a little
growing
good
up
boy.
Yeah,
Good kid.
growing up in a
Mad
mad city. I think that's pretty heavy throughout. So I kind of got that Shireen was a little bit of a bad influence, but maybe, by his own doing as well.
Mhm. Gus, you said you think the first half is stronger and you disagree with me.
Backseat Freestyle. That's all I have to say.
That's it?
Is that your whole argument?
That's my favorite Kendrick song. So of course I'm gonna say that the side that it's on is
Are we saying
stronger.
track 1 through 6 versus track 7
Yeah.
through 12?
So like exactly half.
You got
Yeah.
Poetic Justice. That's an awesome
Yeah,
song.
I like the first half better still. I like Shireen a lot.
Yeah. Bitch, don't kill my vibe.
Money Trees I like a lot.
Yeah.
The Art of Peer Pressure is okay.
What?
I can do without. Also, I don't know why "Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe" is so popular.
I don't like that song.
I don't like that song either.
I
It's
knew you
annoying.
wouldn't.
That,
Yeah.
that hook is really annoying to me.
I agree. I totally agree, and it's frustrating that that's the song, or swimming pools. Or hey, Jacob. Yeah.
Yes.
You want to sit in?
Well, we have a new audience member, Jacob Estrada.
Just walked in the
Thank
room.
you for joining us. Jacob, kick back and listen to us talk about music. Be educated. We're thinking about having you on to teach you about music
Most namely Bruce Springsteen and Johnny Cash.
and Johnny Cash. But
Please cure me of my musical ignorance.
right now we're talking about Kendrick Lamar
Back in it.
and how we don't like the song "Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe."
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
In my notes.
You know that song.
In my notes, it's the only song I have with an X next to it.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I seriously
So
don't.
you
like the song
actually
either.
dislike it?
Yeah.
Wow, man.
I remember my train of thought. It's frustrating to me that "Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe" or "Swimming Pools" are the two that I like. Swimming pools. I
Okay.
like swimming
Yeah,
pools.
Swimming Pools is
But
awesome.
I think Backstreet Freestyle is so much better than both those songs.
I agree,
It's so
yeah.
killer. It's
But-
a total banger.
So I think
Possible.
Swimming Pools kind of brings back that whole theme of bad influences
Mhm.
and stuff like that, and also being surrounded by drug and alcohol abuse, growing up in a place like this.
Yeah. Swimming pools, sort of the style is more dreamlike, like Section 80.
Yeah.
And it has like, there's a section where he does like that conscious voice, like him talking to himself.
There was a track on Section 80 that actually sounded pretty similar to Swimming Pools, like verse wise as well, but I can't remember what it was. Like I was listening to it this morning and I was like, oh my god, this sounds almost like the same song,
Mhm.
but I can't remember it right now.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
It's okay.
You guys aren't fans of Good Kid and Mad City? I think those two
Mad
pairs
City-
of songs.
Mad City
Mad
is
City is
amazing.
awesome.
Good Kid's all right.
A good thing, Good Kid's great. I think those two songs are a pair in my mind, and I think
Probably, yeah.
to me they're the best things on the album.
I think those two might be a pair.
Not sure why.
I don't know why you'd think that.
but to
Yeah.
me, that's why that side's so much better.
That's fair.
Good Kid, Mad City.
Good intro to side B.
"Sing About Me, I'm Dying of Thirst" is too long, in my opinion.
I don't know. It's fine by me. I love it.
So that's a on side B.
Yeah.
That's a kind of a downer to me. It's not that I dislike the song. I just feel like it goes on for a
Too
little
long.
too long.
I mean, if I'm not mistaken, I think Real is one that I'm not a huge fan of.
Yeah.
Real is
Real's
one
okay.
of the most forgettable to me.
Yeah, I can't.
But Compton's great. I like
Yeah.
Compton a lot.
Isn't there a Dre feature on Compton?
Yep.
Okay,
Dr. Dre's in
yeah.
it. But what
Nice.
what I like about Real is at the end, there's like another skit part where
The
Kendrick.
skits throughout are awesome.
Yeah. Kendrick's mom tells about him, returning to the city and giving back. And what's the next song? Compton's sort of like an ode to the city.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So, yeah, like we said, Real isn't very memorable, but it sets up the next song, which is great. But Good Kid, Mad City, those two songs.
So
It's-
theme wise,
Yeah, it typifies a theme.
But what do you think changed between Section 80 and Good Kid, Mad City? Like, there's other than like major label like assistants and Dr. Dre, obviously, because he's a huge producer and obviously has a lot of nice musical technology. What do you think? Why is there such a stark? In my opinion, there's a huge difference between the two albums
Mhm.
that we've talked about so far. Why do you think that is, other than major label assistants?
Variety in the vibe, so to speak. Not
Yeah.
talking about, but like "Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe"
the vibe that is not going to be killed.
is laid back, kind of like Section 80
Yeah.
is in that sort of way. And then there are tracks like Backseat Freestyle, which just go in it. That's what I
Yeah.
wanted "Fuck Your Ethnicity" to be. It's just that's such like a powerful title.
It
Fuck
is,
Your
it really
Ethnicity.
is,
But
yeah.
So on this album and Mad City's so
Those
great.
are probably the two hardest hitting
Oh,
songs.
yeah. And that's probably why I like them the best.
Yeah.
They're my two favorites, definitely. They always have been.
Yeah.
But
And it's just a simple thing of Kendrick just maturing as an artist.
Oh yeah.
Like, this is definitely more experimental. He does a lot more things musically, and he touches on a lot more heavy subjects.
skits
Yeah.
are a lot more interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think the theme is more like all-encompassing, so to speak.
Yeah.
Because on Section 80, I mean, there's a lot of themes. It's similar. I mean, on all of his releases,
Yeah,
there are
yeah.
similar themes and whatnot. But I just feel like he ties it in better on this album. It
Mhm.
feels more complete. Well, he said it was kind of like a short film.
Yeah.
So I get that. I get that sense on this album. But I might as well say this now. One unfortunate thing about this week. So it's only been 5 days since we last recorded.
Yeah.
So our first theme podcast was Nirvana, and we had like a week and a half to listen to
Yeah.
it. And this week we only had 5 days to listen to albums, which are very,
Long.
except for the last one,
Yeah.
very long. Yeah,
Around an
And
hour
so
plus.
didn't get to digest it as much, which is a
That's
bit
okay.
unfortunate. But yeah, so I only got to listen to Good Kid, Mad City once, and I wanted to listen to it more because I was most familiar with it.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so I had to make opportunity costs,
Damn.
or whatever. But
Oh, we could briefly mention this cool album art of
Yeah.
Good Kid, Mad City. It's like a photograph with young Kendrick looking goofy, And then it is apparently his 2 uncles and grandfather in the photo,
Presumably all dead.
but they have their eyes are censored.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what does that mean?
The dude in the middle holding Kendrick looks like Eazy-E.
I always think the guy on the left looks like Easy.
What?
Yeah. He's got the mouth, you know.
I thought the guy on the right looked like Easy.
Man, Kendrick and 3 Easies.
Yeah.
But yeah, have you seen the deluxe edition, like on the vinyl version? Have you seen that cover? That's the one with the minivan on the front and everything.
The Black Keys cover.
The
Gold
El
on the
Camino.
ceiling. There we go. Yeah, El Camino.
You mean the one
This
I
is the
got?
version you have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, another photograph style.
Oh, and there you go on the bottom. Good Kid, Mad City, a short film by Kendrick Lamar.
Hmm. And that van is a big, like, plot point,
Yeah.
you can say.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Awesome album.
it is.
Probably one of my favorite hip hop albums.
Probably,
Actually, definitely
yeah.
one of my favorite hip hop albums.
I'd say the same.
As well as the next album we're gonna talk
Which
about.
we'll get to. So, Good
Yeah,
Kid, Mad
hold
City.
on.
Oh, to me it seemed like we were wrapping up. Like you guys were
No.
like, yeah, let's talk about the album art now.
No. He has to give the next events.
Yeah, go back to our narrative.
in Kendi's life.
Yeah. Go back to that. Where are
So-
we? 2012.
Yeah, 2012, October, Good Kid, Mad City is released. Debuts at number 2 on Billboard 200. Sells 242,000 copies in 1 week.
Holy,
Wow, I didn't know that.
that's crazy.
And I think Kendrick himself has said that he made a concerted effort to make Good Kid, Mad City have a different sound than Section 80. And like we mentioned before, we can tell.
He definitely succeeded.
Yeah. And yeah, he also mentioned he integrated a lot of that hometown influence into this album. In 2014, the 56th Grammy Awards, Kendrick was nominated 7 times, but won squat.
He was snubbed.
Yeah.
Snubbed by,
By
Macklemore.
Yep. And then March 15th, 2015, Kendrick releases his 3rd album, To Pimp a Butterfly. It debuts at number 1 on Billboard 200 and is certified platinum.
Oh, I
And
didn't know that either.
That's pretty
Yeah.
crazy.
So,
TPAB.
we've mentioned it before. To Pimp a Butterfly. Something I've always been intrigued by. And now I
Yeah.
finally got to listen to it.
I wonder if we could look up how many album of the year lists this made
Oh.
number 1 at.
A lot.
Critical reception.
Yeah, there you go.
Holy moly.
Well, there's the
Billboard, number 1. Complex. Consequence of Sound. Entertainment Weekly. NME.
Pitchfork.
You-
UK
2.
people don't. I mean, NME doesn't like American artists that often.
Who do they give number 1? Like
Yeah, I'm
Jesse J.
curious.
Probably Jesse J. I don't know.
Oh my. Okay.
Not Ryan
Okay, we're not
Adams.
going through the whole list. Ryan Adams, 1989, number 1. I'm surprised it was even on.
Grimes? Did they put Grimes? Holy cow.
Grimes,
did.
Art
That's
Angels.
pretty cool. I was talking to you about that the other day.
Yeah. That's a scary album cover.
I
is.
haven't listened to that yet.
It's really awesome, but To Pimp a Butterfly is better.
Yeah, I'm just kind of surprised.
Yeah.
Anywho,
So, universally critically acclaimed.
Pretty crazy.
oh yeah,
I also thought it was amazing and probably my favorite of Kendrick's albums.
so going into this,
Yeah.
so when I bought this day one,
Ooh.
excited, and I thought it was good, but I don't know why. I just like never
Loved it.
loved it. Yeah, I always preferred Good Kid more.
Mm-hmm.
But this most recent listening, I had I do like it better now.
An awakening.
I get it more. Yeah, because I mean obviously, like I respected it because it is a very like ambitious piece. and
That's a
it's
good
very
word, yeah.
artistic.
Yeah.
But there are things like it's definitely not as accessible
Yeah.
as Good Kid, Mad City. And then before I thought Mortal Man with the Tupac interview.
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of like pretentious before, but I like it more now. I'm not sure how in the future it'll be looked at. I don't know if it's going to age well, but
I think it'll age beautifully, like a butterfly.
I definitely don't think it's as ridiculous as I thought it was.
One thing I heard a lot of people say, and these were mostly friends, normie music listeners.
Oh God.
I'm just kidding. But one thing I heard a lot of people say was like, I really think it's good as an album, but I could never listen to songs by itself or something like that. I heard that over and over again, and I thought that was so dumb. Like, they were willing to be like, it's great together, but I just can't listen to it. And I was like, that's so silly. I don't understand why, if you think it's great as a whole album, that none of the songs are listenable. Do you see what I'm saying?
No, I actually there are albums where I like all the songs, or like nearly all the songs, but I really don't listen to them outside of that, because especially like concept albums and whatnot.
Okay.
Because
that's
out
fair.
of place, I mean, so for a lot of concept albums, like the songs are made so that they relate to one another, and so it just, I don't know, it feels weird if you just like listen to it out of place.
It's
So I can see
definitely a
that. I'm not saying I
experience.
feel that way.
Yeah.
I listened to King Kunta probably like a billion times when it was first released.
I think it's an obviously separate experience. Like, if you listen to it all together, it's kind of, to me, almost more short filmy than Good Kid, Mad City. But when you listen to, there's like songs like King Kunta or All Right that were huge hip hop radio hits and sometimes pop radio hits.
Yeah.
Like, you can listen to those on their own and they're kind of
Yeah.
bangers. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe those people, the normies you're talking about, maybe they didn't really listen to it. You know,
That's what I suspect.
they got up to institutionalized and probably stopped there. But or like this dick ain't free. They're like, this is too much for me. This is explicit.
Andrew, what did you think? You haven't said
Oh yeah, I thought it was amazing.
Yeah.
Like I mentioned before, you can see the evolution, and like Gus mentioned before, very ambitious. So many different musical elements here. We got a lot of funk. I mean, first track, Wesley's Theory. You got George Clinton on there. I
Yeah.
like George Clinton. That's
And
so awesome.
The bass action that's
Yeah.
going on. I think it's Thundercat on Wesley's Theory.
Mm-hmm.
I think so.
Possibly?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Sounds crazy. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
You got a lot of funk elements, jazz elements, soul, R&B, a lot of spoken word stuff too, and to continue with the skit stuff
Yeah.
and using poetry. I mean, all around, I just thought it's compelling all the way through. There's always something new happening.
I is live. It's a live
Yeah.
performance.
I always wondered why that was, because he released that as a single, like a studio version
Mhm.
beforehand, and then on the album he put a live version.
I like when artists do that.
So
sort of
it
thing.
interests me, but I wonder if either of you guys can clarify this for me, or maybe you can click on the thing. Is it actually live, or is it staged to
Like
sound
Benny
live?
and the Jets.
Yeah, that's what I suspected. Because, let's see. Doesn't say on
It
Genius.
doesn't say.
But for some reason, every time I listen to it, it seems like a staged live thing.
Maybe it was.
Like a lot of the, maybe he like very carefully like planned what he wanted to say, and he was like, oh, I know this one's going on the album. But I don't know. There's aspects of it that every time I hear it, I'm like,
Oh, there you go. It emulates a live performance.
I knew it.
No, it's not.
I knew it. Benny and the Jets.
Benny.
He did
By the way-
he did the Benny effect.
Smallest hyperlink of all time.
Really hard to click on.
Lowercase I.
Yeah. So I guess there's less formal narrative skits than Good Kid, Mad City, but the main thing that goes on in To Pimp a Butterfly is this sort of poem
Mm-hmm.
that Kendrick says. He's kind of sprinkles through the ends of his
Yeah,
song.
he like repeats the beginning over
Yeah.
and over, but you get a little more every couple of tracks.
So he
or every
reveals
other
like
track.
more lines of the poems as the album goes on, and then it's not until the very end in Mortal Man when he sits down with Tupac and sort of reads the whole poem and delves into what it means to pimp a butterfly.
Yeah.
But Pimp a Butterfly itself is mentioned earlier in the album.
The very
With
first
song,
track,
right?
the
Yeah.
opening, yeah.
Yeah.
When the four corners of this cocoon collide. That thing. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
So, what are some of your favorite songs?
I love Wesley's Theory
Yep.
so much. There's like a capitalism theme on this album too.
Mhm.
That's pretty heavy. I don't know if that was on Good Kid, Mad City. I don't think it was,
No.
but it works really well alongside all the other stuff.
Well, yeah,
I
because
guess there's a theme of corruption.
yeah,
in
and sort of
politics.
being a black man in the music industry and having to
Oh.
deal with not only the social implications, but again, yeah, in the music world
Yeah.
at large.
in the culture world. Too.
Yeah. King Kunta, we mentioned. We all love a King
Yes.
Kunta.
Bring up the
Kunta's
track list.
Awesome.
Oh yeah. King Kunta got 3 stars next to it.
King Kunta is
I got a bone to
amazing.
pick.
I like Mama a lot.
Yeah.
Black are the Berries, awesome.
Black of the Berries, another one of my favorites.
And Mortal Man,
I
even
like
though Mortal
Hood
Man's really long.
Politics. Hood Politics.
Hood Politics is great.
I is probably my favorite.
I is one of my favorites. I love the instrumentals though. Like I said with the SNL thing we were watching earlier. I
Mhm.
love that the little guitar riff. That
Yeah, reminded me of Prince.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. sort of, and also Kendrick doing like different voices. Prince kind of does that too.
Yeah. There's a lot of tongue twisty rhymes on this album.
Mm-hmm.
Like in All Right. All Right is another one of my favorite ones. There's like words and words and words, and to the point where like I bet you if we read the lyrics right now, I'd probably get a different meaning from what I heard because I couldn't make out every single word. So it's fast.
Yeah, it's like a wall of words sometimes.
Yeah.
Sally sells seashells by the seashore. Like that.
You did it.
Yep.
Like, I think For Free,
Yeah.
Kendrick mentioned this is his favorite song
This
on the album. Yeah.
ain't free.
Yeah.
You looking at me
Someone-
like I never seen, like I never made ends meet, like eating your leftovers of raw meat.
Like someone tweeted at Kendrick, "Hey, what's your favorite song off of To Pimp a Butterfly?" And he responded, "For Free." So
It's 1,693
Yeah.
likes.
it's a short song, right? It's only two minutes.
Yeah, and it's an interlude too.
Yeah, but it has like a huge jazz sound and
Words.
dominated. But that jazz sound itself is dominated by the lyrics, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Any songs you don't like?
There's nothing that I really dislike, but like some of my lesser favorites would be You, Institutionalized.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man,
I don't know why. I just have never gotten into Institutionalized that
that's
much.
fair.
And then How Much a Dollar Cost.
I can name my least favorite right now is probably A Zulu Love.
Oh yeah.
That one's just slow for me.
No, I like it.
I like it
Yeah.
too.
I don't know what it is. It's slow, and for me, it kind of kills the momentum. And the Black of the Berries right after too.
Yeah.
Blackberry's awesome.
Yeah.
Very powerful.
Oh yeah, that's a super
Angry.
effective song. And I think he may have also released that before the album came out, if I'm not mistaken. But in any case,
Yeah. I
Black of
think
the
so.
Berry is like the lyrics are super powerful in that song.
Yeah.
And angry, like you're
Aggressive,
saying, like,
yeah.
That entire rap he's doing like.
Yeah, yeah.
It's awesome. There's this
Barnes
snarl.
teeth.
Yeah,
So
great.
finally, kind of summarize the overall theme to Pimp a Butterfly. Like mentioned before, mortal man. Kendrick spells it out. The sort of whole butterfly metaphor. That, growing up in Compton, all the people there are considered like caterpillars, and they all have potential, but sort of the city is like a cocoon, kind of keeping them trapped and institutionalized. And that he, Kendrick himself has sort of gotten out of that and become a butterfly, and that, people need to sort of take action to sort of do that as well and kind of escape, all the social and political systems against them.
He talks about all these things that are kind of against that movement too, to become a butterfly.
Mhm.
Like for example, the capitalism theme, like
Yeah.
in the first track in Wesley's Theory, which is like one of my favorite songs on the album. I think it's so strong. Like he has all these verses about like what do you want to buy? You can buy whatever you want in
Yeah.
this world. In this life, you can just go to you can live at the mall. You
Yeah.
can, like here's some money. How much $1 cost? in another
And
song.
then Kendrick, as a current butterfly, is susceptible to being manipulated and
Yeah.
taken advantage of. Again, it's from one point, just from him being famous in the music industry, but also specifically because of his race.
Yeah.
And it's something that he points out many a time. And yeah, there's also the idea of double consciousness.
I was about to say, in Wesley's Theory, he
Yeah.
has a conversation kind of with himself or
Yeah.
someone else observing him or talking to him.
Mm-hmm.
Is like, get it all. You deserve it, Kendrick. Like, buy everything. You have all this money now. Like, why not buy all this stuff?
Yeah. And sort of, I think it's W.E. Du Bois. He talks about the idea of double consciousness as, African Americans, they have, sort of their African heritage, but they also have sort of their American identity and how they're always kind of conflicted between the two. And again, that sort of parallels the caterpillar butterfly metaphor. And then also in Black of the Berry, they talk about that a lot, being sort of schizophrenic and being a hypocrite. So yeah, what I love is that by the end, you could draw parallels between a lot of the songs. Like a lot of ideas in one song, you realize going and listening to it a second time, oh, he touches on that idea in another song too. So again, a lot of layers here, and it's something that listening to it multiple times, you discover new things.
Yeah. On that whole, like, double consciousness thing, like, click on Black of the Berry. There's, like, it's one of the first lyrics of the song, I think, where he's like, I'm African American, I'm African.
Yeah.
I'm African American, I'm African. I'm black as the moon, heritage of a small village. Like, the whole, like, I feel like he kind of touches on this, the African American stigma, like of like hip hop or dancing or basketball, all these like racially like and socially or institutionally implanted ideas. I feel like there's kind of a conflict in which he's talking about like, I fit into this, but I also fit into this, and I don't know which side really I relate to or which actually matters to me. And I feel like he knows that that's a conflict in a lot of people's heads in America, especially like the album cover perfectly depicts that kind of feeling, I think.
Yeah, and it also parallels Good Kid, Mad City. You have a good kid, Mad City. I think one of the lines in the poems in To Pimp a Butterfly is, searching for answers until he returns home or something like that.
Yeah.
So that album's great. Love it. Gus, any final words on To Pimp?
Pimp.
Hooray.
Hooray. No, it's great.
Okay.
But speaking of Pimp, hooray. Oh, wait, not yet. Andrew.
Back to my narrative. Considered by many best album of 2015. In the 58th Grammy Awards, he won 5. Nice. And correct me if I'm wrong, but he had like the second most nominations of all time.
Of all time?
During like one year.
Maybe.
Behind Michael Jackson.
I'm not sure about that. But
okay. I remember reading something about that, but
I believe it.
All right, forget I said that.
I feel like T Swift was super high up there, and like I don't know, Cher.
Maybe it was for one album. Is that what?
Not really.
I was thinking maybe like 1 year. Like, I don't know.
It's definitely not like most nominations overall.
Yeah, definitely not.
Yeah.
But
but
maybe.
On March 4th, 2016, out of nowhere, Kendrick releases Untitled, Unmastered, period.
Yeah.
It's a compilation album, which at first no one knew what it was. Because, he literally just dropped it out of nowhere. And it's made up of demos during the To Pimp a Butterfly recordings. And it's good.
Okay.
I love it.
I feel like we're going to have trouble talking about this. But
why? Because they're all called Untitled number blank?
I'm not going to be able to point out which one is which.
I love 1, I love 5, and I love 7.
My favorite is 8. Not so good about 7. Not feeling so good.
No, I'm serious. My favorites are 1, 5, and 8. I mean, 1, 5, and 7.
I like 2 a lot. 2 is really
2 is great.
memorable.
There's not one that I dislike, actually. I like the entire. I actually like this more than Good Kid, Mad City.
Really?
I like
What?
this a lot.
Wow.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I dig this.
Dang.
I dig this
So
release.
is this your favorite Kendrick album?
No. To
Pimp
Pimp a Butterfly
Wow.
is, yeah.
Nice.
But I mean, this is a part of the To Pimp a Butterfly sessions anyway.
Yeah.
And I mean, yeah, Good Kid, Mad City is probably a better piece of art because it's because it was actually like like a project that was released rather than just like a compilation of outtakes and whatnot.
Yeah,
But
when you hear like this is a compilation of demos, you're like, oh, it's probably like substandard stuff, but
Yeah.
it's all great. It's really great.
It is
A lot of
great.
them feel like finished songs.
Yeah.
For the most part.
I love outtakes, B-sides and rarities type stuff. So this was right up my alley, and
But this
I
could
dig it.
stand as a full album, like studio album.
Yeah.
It probably could, but I think it's wise that he didn't release it as a studio album.
That would be a weak follow-up to Pimp a
Yeah,
Butterfly.
I think
Yeah.
people would have been
live
like,
in the shadow.
"What?"
But it was pretty critically acclaimed,
Yeah.
if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you talk about it not being released as another studio album, because it doesn't continue sort of that narrative experimental trend. It is more of like, here are just some songs. They're really good songs, but yeah. So-
Why do certain tracks? Why can you click on some of those? Why click on Untitled too? What are
Because they have their own pages, because they're
They're
probably
slightly
more
notable.
popular.
Yeah.
those? Oh yeah, this
Yeah.
one charted.
Untitled 2, Untitled
Weird.
7, and 8.
7?
Seven, I'm
long
pretty
ass
sure, is
one?
a big hit on Tidal, if I'm not mistaken.
I think 7's great because it just
Meditate.
goes to so many places and whatnot.
Yeah.
I love when he's just at the end when he's with his, I don't know, the people he's recording with or his entourage or something.
Yeah. His crew.
Yeah. Awesome.
I think it's either in 2 or 3 where or maybe at the end of 1 where he's like something, play the drums on Kunta, like play the live drums or something.
Oh yeah.
Talking to like the studio drummer or whatever,
Yeah.
the session drummer. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Makes it feel really real.
Did you? Is that it, Andrew? You
How
didn't
much
have
did you
anything?
like it?
Yeah, you didn't say anything.
Untitled, Unmastered?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all. So
So that is our show on Kendrick Lamar. We went 50 minutes.
Okay.
Cool. What,
Thanks. Thanks for the update.
I don't even know what I was about to ask.
What?
Best album, worst album.
Oh,
What do you expect from him in the future? Are you going to listen to his mixtapes?
the best album, To Pimp a Butterfly.
I agree.
What is he doing in the future? More good music. And am I going to listen to his mixtapes? No.
That was fast.
Pretty much the same. Best
Yeah.
is To Pimp. Worst is Section 80.
I forgot that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm probably not gonna check out his mixtapes. I don't
Yeah.
really have a big interest in checking out his old stuff. And what's he gonna do in the future? I think he's gonna retire.
How?
This is
He
it.
Good.
This is
Well, in the future, he's going to die.
Yeah, someday
Well.
Kendrick will no longer be with us. Hopefully, that's in the far future. You know?
Yeah.
What about you, Derwin?
The exact same, except I think I will check out his mixtapes. I know they're not going to be as refined by any means, but it's
But
always
you a
it's
fan.
always fun. Yeah,
You a fan?
I'm a huge fan now, and to me, it's
Fanboy.
really interesting to see. I'm a fanboy. I'm a K-Dot fanboy. It's really interesting to see where people came from. You know what I mean? I can only anticipate that it's going to be way, 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 way different, even from Section 80. So I'm really interested.
Do you think that his next album will top To Pimp a Butterfly? Because I don't.
You don't really?
No, I think he has achieved.
He's
his
peaked?
peak. I think he's peaked.
It
To Pimp a
really
Butterfly was
feels that
so
way.
like fucking good and refined. I don't think. I mean, I think it'll be
That's the
good. I
hype.
think it'll be great.
The
Even
hype is going to make
Yeah.
it impossible.
exactly.
honestly.
That is exactly
I have really
why.
high hopes because I believe in him, but I kind of agree with you, honestly.
I'm with Kendi. Okay.
So
K-Dot back in the hood.
that is our themed episode. Now we have to recommend 3 more things for next week.
Forgot about that.
So I'll begin
Go
with
right
my
ahead.
recommendation, which I can't find my cursor. Oh, there we go. Innervisions, an album by Stevie Wonder, released in 1973. My favorite album, my favorite
Favorite
year,
year.
yeah, of all time for music. His 16th studio album, yeah.
16.
He started super early. It's ridiculous. Yeah.
Was he like releasing music in the 50s?
60s.
I don't know about
definitely.
50s,
I don't
but-
think-
Like, was he doing like Motown stuff?
yeah.
Jazz artists.
Oh my God.
And or like yeah, jazz artists like always have like a bunch of studio albums. Miles Davis released so
Oh,
many.
yeah.
Can you tell me about Stevie Wonder's blindness? Where did that come from?
That means he can't see. And
End of story.
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I think he was. There was some. It was during birth, medical complications.
Really?
Something,
Okay,
yeah.
so he's been playing
Yeah.
music blind the whole
Yes.
time. Wow.
Let's see. First album, The Jazz Soul of Little Stevie, 1962. He was born in 1950, so he was 12.
Oh my God.
So, yeah, he's a musical prodigy.
That's a great picture.
I mean, yeah.
That is a great picture.
Yeah.
So, but Innervisions, 1973. I think it's his best album. It's my favorite of his. I know Gus asked me one time if this was better than Songs in the Key of Life. And that album is a double album, and I think some of those songs, you could tell, like, okay, this song is great, but
Mhm.
some of these songs aren't as good. Whereas Innervisions, I think every song on here is immaculately constructed.
Man.
When you think of the idea Innervisions, it's definitely sort of Stevie touching on a lot of different social issues from his perspective. Something from like drug use, political corruption. There's some love ballads in here as well. All around strong album. I think it's even mentioned that he did most of the instruments on here, so it's virtually a one-man band.
Oh, yeah, you were telling me that.
Yeah, you should see some clips of Stevie playing drums. It's kind of funny
That, yeah.
because you
I don't wanna laugh.
never see Stevie Wonder playing drums, but he does.
One thing's for sure about this album being better than Songs in the Key of Life.
Yeah.
Better name. Songs in the Key of Life.
I
Terrible
agree.
name.
No,
Awful name.
I think it's a wonderful name. It's delightful.
Innervisions. I like the album art.
Me too.
I think this started a streak for him where he won Album of the Year for like 4 years in a row or something.
Wow.
And then he took a break, right? Yeah, from 1974, fulfilling Nissa's first finale, which is always hard to say. And then he took a break, and then Songs in the Key of Life in 1976.
Nice.
I think 75, Paul Simon won album of the year, and he said, "Thank you, Stevie Wonder, for not releasing an album
Oh.
this year."
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wait, what album? Graceland?
I think it
No,
was
Graceland was 80s.
Damn.
Still Crazy.
Oh yeah, with all
I
that.
think
Ugh.
it's Still
with all that
Crazy after
synth.
all these years or something.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
It
Yeah, I
wasn't
think-
self-titled.
Hmm?
It wasn't self-titled.
No, that was
Paul Simon's
70 or
self-titled.
71.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Paul Simon's White Album.
But yep. So, Stevie Wonder, Innervisions. There we go.
Cool.
I'm really excited. I've been meaning to delve into Stevie for a while.
Well, he played like half this album for us
Yeah.
already. Or was it this one, or was it Key of Life that you played for
I don't
us
think
that
it
one
was,
time?
it was like 2 songs too.
It was like 9.
No, those songs in the Keep Life I played more.
Oh,
of,
okay,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah. But Gus's recommendation, which is probably the exact opposite of Stevie Wonder's Innervisions.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2.
Why
Now,
2?
Why 2? Because you've already seen 1 and you love 1.
I know technically why. We do this every week. Why this one though?
Why this one? Because this one, so 1 is amazing. It's an amazing slasher kind of precursor, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
And 2 takes everything from 1 and throws it away, and totally starts over. It's a black comedy. It's a hilarious movie. There are some awesome sets. It's probably like one of the strangest sequels I've ever seen, because it's just it's so weird. And so I'm excited to see how Sterling will like it, because he is Texas Chainsaw Massacre your favorite movie?
One of my favorite movies.
One of your favorite.
ever.
Oh,
Probably
Shaun
my top
of the
5,
Dead
yeah.
is your favorite.
You haven't seen Texas Chainsaw Massacre,
I
right?
have.
Oh, really?
You have.
Yeah, and I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
You might.
That's surprising.
I'm a bit more skeptical on Andrew. I don't think he's gonna like it that much. But you're in for a ride. It's very cool.
This isn't like a so bad it's good thing, is it?
No,
Okay.
no.
Wow.
Yeah, going into I didn't even like know what to really expect. I knew it was different than the first. But I was totally pleased. It's so cool. Like where it's paced weird, and they go to weird places. But yeah, and
Come on, look at that poster.
the poster
That's
mimics The
hilarious.
Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna not say that, so you guys can be.
Ooh.
We'll talk about that next week.
Okay.
But also, there's this one scene that I really want to talk about, because it really is horrible.
Oh, no.
I have one question.
Yeah.
Is this movie scary?
No, not to me. Did 1 scare you?
Yes.
1 is definitely scarier.
One is horrifying. In my
Yeah.
opinion.
1 is
No,
a,
I disagree. I think it's terrifying.
one
Is
is
that more scary than horrifying?
1 is a horror movie. 2 is a black comedy.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Is there blood in this one?
it's been a few years since I've seen this, so I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
How many other sequels are there in this Texas Chainsaw series?
So 3 sucks.
There's a bunch of remakes.
Then
too,
there was
right?
a remake with Jessica Biel,
Eh.
and people hated that one. I saw it, and it's definitely not like nearly as good as the first, or the original rather, but it was okay. And then there was this weird, I mean, I might be missing one, but then there was this one that was released a couple years ago or 3 years ago or something, called Chainsaw 3D or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking terrible.
I'm not
It's so
surprised.
bad.
Is the one in 2003 the one you were talking about with Beale?
Biel, yeah.
Oh my God.
There's Texas Chainsaw Massacre at the beginning.
Leatherface
I didn't know
coming
about
out 2016.
The Next Generation.
Let's click on Leatherface. That's one of those like terrible like surnames or whatever. What's that called?
Subtitle?
Subtitles,
Yeah, subtitles.
like
Electric Boogaloo.
Resurrection.
Yeah. Alien.
Revelations.
Revelations, yeah. Oh,
Like every Terminator sequel.
Yeah.
can I just spoil Chainsaw 3D though? Do you
Sure,
mind?
yeah.
So there's the main girl, and so at the end, I forget who the antagonist is, like what his deal and the whole plot is, but Leatherface, or she discovers that her and Leatherface are like related, and so they team up to take him down. It's the lamest shit ever.
Let's. I want to see the Leatherface page. When is that coming out?
Go down.
Is it already out?
It doesn't have a release date.
Good.
What?
It's just upcoming. Usually the release date would be listed
Yeah.
right there, but it's not. So
Oh,
it doesn't have
interesting.
a release date yet.
Oh, it chronicles his teen years, how he became Leatherface.
That's great.
That's so funny.
It's gonna be terrible.
Oh, jeez.
Teen
Okay.
years.
Violent teenager Jackson escapes from a mental hospital. Holy cow.
Would be a perfect comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like going to the school from Me and Earl and the Dying Girl, and then it turns into Leatherface.
Yeah. Oh man.
But apparently the trailer for Texas Chainsaw 3D, according to one of my film professors, is amazing.
The trailer
Really?
is scary. Yeah, it makes you like. Let's watch it after. Actually, when I saw it, I was like, "Oh, that looks awesome!" And I hadn't seen the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, like the original one, right?
Wait, are we talking about the same thing? The black screen trailer?
Black screen trailer.
Yeah, apparently the trailer for this movie, if you see it in the theater, it's just like a black screen, and you hear like someone running, and the chainsaw behind it, and the chainsaw like uses surround sound and just goes around the theater in like a loop, and then when it gets back to the front, you see like blood splatter, and then the name of the movie.
No, I haven't.
Oh, that's kinda cool.
Well, I want to show you the one. I saw.
Okay, yeah, we'll see it. Anyway, so 2 out of 3. Sterling, take us home.
Yes, I will.
I don't have a
there's
page
no
for you.
Wikipedia page,
Yeah.
so I'm just gonna go for it. I'm recommending a Flash game called Peasant's Quest. It was made by the people who made Homestar Runner. I'm not sure if you know HomestarRunner.com, but it's like a Flash cartoon series website.
Strong bad dudes,
It's
right?
featuring Strong Bad, the character. Yeah, that was really popular in like the early
to mid
down
2000s,
Yeah. So this game I think came out in 2004, if I'm not mistaken. You could play it on their website for free. It's super fun. It's a text-based RPG about a peasant who
Who's on a quest?
Yeah, a peasant on a quest. And he's on fire. Or he wants to get on fire. That's part of the plot. I can't really explain it because I haven't played it in probably over like 5 years. But as much as I remember, plot-wise, there's this dragon named Trogdor, and he burns your village, and it makes you really mad, and you want to go defeat him, but you can't enter his kingdom or his dungeon without looking like a peasant. So you have to look like a peasant, smell like a peasant, dress like a peasant. All
Is
this
this a
weird stuff.
comedy?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
a hilarious game.
Okay.
It's a text-based
Cool.
game, and it's really actually like there's a lot of stuff you can do. Like you can type a bunch of silly stuff, and get all sorts of fun texty answers.
I like a good text-based game.
I know you do. I know you don't. Neither do I usually.
What, text-based?
You didn't even finish Frog Fractions.
I don't hate text-based games.
Neither do I, and that's what.
In fact, I don't know if this is even, if you'd call this text-based, so to speak. Maybe more like graphic novels, mystery type deal. But
Oh.
do you know about the Zero Escape franchise,
Yeah, yeah,
Andrew?
yeah.
I love those games. Those games are amazing. Anyway,
So,
That's it. That's Peasant's Quest.
cool. That is the end of another episode of The
Is
Wheelhouse.
that episode 11?
Yeah. Oh, I
Oh.
forgot to mention last episode. Yeah, we're in double digits
I was
now.
about to say, last episode, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
10 episodes.
We didn't celebrate.
That's 1/10 of the way to 100 episodes.
1/10 of the
Wow.
way to your free velvet cake.
I can't wait. Promised us red velvet.
Yeah.
we're going to be graduated at that point.
Technically.
Well, boy, he might not, actually.
Yeah,
So he'd be
I'm
here.
still coming back.
By myself,
Yeah, exactly.
eating red velvet cake by
No,
myself.
Wheelhouse, the next generation.
The next gen.
And then we'll have Wheelhouse Revelations.
And then Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah,
And
with
then-
Jacob.
An inevitable reboot in 3D.
Yeah. And then we'll all come back like 20 years later playing the same characters like in the future.
So, now that this episode is over, you might be asking yourself, what can I do now? Well, I can tell you. You could like us on Facebook at facebook.com/wheelhousecast. Follow us on Twitter at wheelhousecast. Subscribe to our feed on iTunes where you can also rate and review us. Guess how many reviews we have? Still one.
Ah.
Finally, if you have any questions or want to share your own review of any of the media we talked about, email us at wheelhousecast@gmail.com. Also, we're doing guests, so if you are in the Dallas Southern Methodist University area and you want to recommend something or even be on the show, you can do so by emailing us at that email address. You guys have any other plugs? Creative
No.
projects.
Sorry, I didn't realize you're talking to me.
Oh, Gus is already checked out.
He's gone.
So, thank you, Gus.
Yeah.
Thanks, Gus.
Yeah.
Thanks for doing this. I really appreciate
Yeah.
your commitment. Coming every week.
Thanks, Sterling.
Thank you, Gus. Thank
no
you.
problem. Thanks, Andrew.
Oh, no problem.
Yeah, thanks.
My name's Andrew, reminding you that Wheelhouse rhymes with eel mouse.
It's true. It really does.
In case you forgot.
Thank you.
No problem, Sterling. Anytime. Anytime you forget
Dang.
your rhymes, I'm here for you.
It also rhymes with steel joust.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
How about you, Gus?
What'd you ask?
All right, bye.